It's a very famous mountain, but it's also quite an unexplored one. It's a very wild place.
Explorer Joseph Rock had one goal in mind when he left his home in early autumn 1923. Rock and his expedition would spend 3 months bushwhacking through remote China, timing their travel in hopes the gods would favor them with one clear day. On the day it counted most.
This expedition for Rock was quite unusual in that most of his expeditions were by way of botanical research, but he scheduled this one specifically for autumn. So this one was a photographic expedition, first and foremost, and one of his main aims is right behind me, shrouded in cloud. One of the things he wanted to photograph most was this mountain, which he calls Kenyan Chumpur. The Chinese now call it Gali Gongshan. In Tibetan, it's something like Galagapur.
87 years later, author and historian Ed Jocelyn is leading our expedition. Our goal, to get closer than Rock to a mountain the Chinese consider a sacred place. If we are to succeed, we'll need luck, good weather, and some of the flinty resolve Rock used to survive in remote Yunnan province, China. Joseph Rock was an Austrian-born opera lover. Who would often bring his phonograph on expeditions. He was also a self-trained botanist. Some of his rhododendron specimens reportedly still grow in the United States. He explored and photographed Yunnan province in northwest China for the National Geographic from 1922 to 1935.
Rock was the first foreigner to come here, and he was the first one to study to make botanical studies here.
79-year-old He Huling was a boy when Rock lived in his village. Rock settled in what was then called Unguluka in 1922. This is where he planned his expeditions.
When Rock was in a good mood, then he would happily reach into his pocket, pull out a load of coins, hand them out to all the kids in the village, pay off all the people who went out to help him. But if he was in a bad mood, he'd just refuse to pay, including the people who he took out to help him dig for seeds or to run his mule teams, and he just refused to pay them. So he was a famously difficult character to do business with.
Despite his contrary moods, the villagers liked and respected him.
By and large, the people in the village liked him very much, not only because he could cure some of their basic illnesses, help fix up their bad teeth, but also at the time it was a very, very poor village. It was very hard to find any work, and Rock brought work.
In the fall of 1923, Rock set out for 3 months with 15 men from his adopted home to photograph the top of Mount Galagapu. We hope to get closer to Mount Galagapu than Rock, but we will attempt to do that with fewer members in our expedition and fewer days to reach our goal. The first part of our journey is with a mule team. We must cover 25 miles of tough terrain and cross 2 mountain passes. We are trekking the Bilo Range, which stretches along the west side of the Mekong Valley. Snow starts falling as we make our way to the first pass. Snow is something we weren't expecting this time of year. At the top of the 13,865-foot pass, near whiteout conditions, and worse, as we cautiously make our way down.
We got major avalanche risk. I can hear an avalanche going on right now, and it's been going on for about the last 40 seconds. So it's coming right from the top, and we're about, I don't know, 2,000 feet, 2,500 feet below the top of the mountain. So there's an awful lot of space for, even if it starts off small, there's not that much snow at the top, but there's an awful lot of rocks. And we've seen some big rock slides, and all it takes is for those to pick up some more rocks along the way, and you end up with what's behind me, all these large boulders which have been thrown down from the mountain over the years. So yeah, it's really, really dangerous. I didn't enjoy that at all. I enjoyed climbing up, but I didn't enjoy coming down.
Snow, rain, a slog. This is supposed to be the easiest part of our expedition. On our third day, we part ways with the mule team. Mules can't go where we're about to go. We need porters to carry our gear and lead the way. The porters are Tibetan, but their chosen religion is Catholic. Each day they chant their prayers.
So when they come out into the mountains, into the wild places, then their prayers include prayers to the Lord to keep and preserve them.
And with good reason. We are climbing the Kaoligongshan Range. To get closer than rock to the peak he photographed, we must take a different and perhaps more dangerous route. It's been raining off and on, but snowing above, and the snow melt from the top of the mountain has turned the nearby river into a raging torrent.
We are beyond rock. So, yeah, the next 4 days we're going to be seeing new stuff. Not just for me, but for most people, I guess.
Along the way, the porters and guides negotiate a price for kindling. A rural Chinese convenience store. The kindling is now helping the porters build a fire for lunch. Lunch is noodles in a pork fat broth with cabbage. Bamboo branches make good chopsticks. After lunch, we travel farther up the range that sits along the west side of the Salween River. This is a primeval forest. One we are trekking in terrible weather, and we're now stuck in our campsite with two choices.
This mountain is notoriously dangerous, so eventually we decided really we had two choices. One was just to give up, go straight back down, and the other was to grit our teeth, stay under the tent, build a fire, try and get dry, and hope the rain stops. If things clear up, then tomorrow we can consider pushing on.
And the next day is clear, for now. We must have good weather for the next 2 days to successfully photograph the peak.
Our goal now, to my mind, is to get up the top and get a view of that mountain. I mean, if we can do that, that in itself will be quite an achievement. And it's not something that's guaranteed.
A push to the top, more than 1,700 feet up, to get a closer shot than rock of the peak of Mount Gawagapu.
Oh, it was an exciting moment to see the mountains so close up and so suddenly. It just suddenly opened up in front of us. And all the guys with us were running across the hillside to get a closer look. They were thrilled as well. I fell over immediately, broke the lens on my camera because I was in such a rush to get to it. It's a tremendously dramatic, thrilling moment to be so close to something so beautiful.
The clouds drift over Mount Gawagapu. Eventually lifting and revealing the peak. We now know why Joseph Rock made this the sole purpose of his expedition nearly 90 years ago. Our expedition took us over rivers, our only way across using rain-slicked narrow logs. Around mountain faces with makeshift bridges and ladders. And through bamboo forests so suffocating, a A whistle was the only way to find each other.
It's very, very tough. The last 3 days are among the most taxing 3 days that I can remember. And if we hadn't had such good guys with us, it could have been a very different story. It was incredibly reassuring to have people you could have complete faith in, because up there it's a whole different world. It's a very, very dangerous place.
A wild place. That explorer Joseph Rock didn't tame, but managed to photograph and describe in the pages of the National Geographic magazine.
He was a real trailblazer. He went places nobody else had been, at least from the West, of course. He introduced those places to the rest of the world. He photographed them for the first time. Really broke boundaries. We can just follow in his footsteps and, take our hats off to him.